And we are live. Startup Ideas Brainstorm number 4.
Number 4.
Number
Back at
4. Back at it.
Some people are
Impromptu.
clocking out right now. We're clocking in.
Some people are clocking out, but real ones are clocking in. Real ones know that the weekend is a good creative, quiet, creative zone. It's kind of like the mornings of the week. You know how the mornings are like calm and you can actually get deep work done?
Yep.
Well, that's where we're at. That's where we're at.
Right now.
That's where we're at. Beautiful. So, as people are trickling in, I was thinking there's a few options of sips, something to sip on that I could be sipping on. And I need everyone to tell me what I should be sipping on. Before we get to the startup ideas, I need to know. So we have 3 options. Option 1, Budweiser Zero, non-alcoholic beer, 50 calories, 0 grams of sugar. You know, what you see is what you're going to get. So that's option 1, Budweiser Zero. Option 2 is your classic Carlsberg Danish Pilsner. It's a light beer. You know, it's a nice can by appointment to the Royal Danish Court. And it's got the sort of bonus effect that my last name is Isenberg and Carlsberg kind of sound similar.
Cousins.
We're basically cousins. And last but not least, we have our, I'm not even going to try to, Chetsvar. We got our Chetsvar, which is our original Czech lager, owned by the Czech Republic. So you know that the government of the Czech Republic's getting a few cents from this. Never had this. Could be interesting. It's only brewed in the Czech Republic. Kind of interesting. So a bit more interesting than Carlsberg. So what's it going to be? I need everyone to go in the chat and tell me what to be drinking. Wow, start with the Carlsberg Pilsner. Let's get dizzy. Oh, okay. Wow. No votes for the Budweiser Zero?
I need to try Bud Zero. I'm big into it.
This is crazy because everyone's telling me that, you know, alcohol is out, but now I have the sip community telling me that alcohol is in.
You got to trust the market.
There's literally not one person has said Budweiser yet.
Yeah.
Bud Zero.
Friday afternoon.
Nathaniel, you're only saying that because your last name looks like Zero.
literally zero.
Start with the Bud, then go to Denmark, and then Czech. Okay, so a little flight, a little tour.
Startup story, a little flight. I have this Topo Chico, but it's cooked, so I might need to step away and get my own array.
Yeah, get your own array for sure.
Get my own flight.
Bringing childhood trauma back. My bad. My bad. We won't mention it again. We won't mention it again. No Zero for you. It's 11 p.m. here. Okay. So what's it going to be? It sounds like Zero's out. It feels like it's between Carlsberg and this Czech beer. Come on. Put it in. Is it red or green? Red or green?
Green means go. Come on.
Green means go?
Come on, Chad. Let's green means go it.
Wow. Connor. Green. Red.
I don't even know what flag that is, Connor.
Wow. I'm surprised. We're getting a lot of reds here.
I mean, I guess they want
green. Oh, the green. Now the greens are piping in. Zero out. Where were you like 5 minutes ago?
He's rising.
What is Czechvar's contribution to the Czech GDP? Honestly, probably a lot. Go Carlsberg. This is crazy. It's almost like I should open both the Czech bar and the Carlsberg and just put it into one.
Little Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Is that what that's called?
Yeah, you double open on the head. Old WWE.
Okay. So like a late 90s reference?
Yeah.
Nice. Tasting fights should start with a Michelob. I don't have, so you know, but yes. Michelob, then Carlsberg, then the unusual drink. Check. All right. What do you think, Jordan? What do you think people want?
Yeah, I like startup stories flight, but we'll put the bud at the end, and we're going Denmark, then Czech, then bud.
Denmark, then Czech, then bud. So without further ado, boom. We are going to get this started. So if this is your first time here, let me explain how this goes down. You are going to come with your startup ideas, or you can come with a business that you have already created. You send me a Instagram DM with like a 1-liner, 2-liner, a 3-liner, just outlining what the idea is or what you want reviewed. Like, hey, I'm working on this business, but like I need help. And my Instagram is at Greg Isenberg. You're going to DM me. And then the most interesting DMs, I'm going to send you a link. You're going to come up on stage and we were going to jam live in front of everyone. And we'll give you feedback. So that's how it works. But I will say one thing. So if you come up here, you have to be prepared for what we call a sip or spit. Now, if you come up with a good idea here, what people are going to do is they're going to sip that idea. That means that's a good idea. Exactly. But if it's a not good idea, people will say spit. So that just means it's not that great of idea. You got to go back to the drawing board. So that's how the startup idea brainstorm works. And without further ado, cheers. It's Friday. Delicious, very light. Basically tastes like a Bud Zero, honestly. And while that's happening, I'm gonna put these two back in the fridge. And Jordan, should we just pin a message on YouTube for new folks coming in so that they know to DM me on Instagram at Greg Isenberg?
Yep.
Montreal Entrepreneur Pride, absolutely. Absolutely. All right. So I'm pulling up my Instagram. Let's see if the requests are coming in. Yep, they just started, and I am going to be sending the link.
Can't
All
pin
right.
it.
Sorry?
You know the drill. I said I can't pin it on here, but everyone knows. Everyone knows the drill.
You can pin it on YouTube, so I'll do that.
Yeah.
Let's see. Pin message. It has been pinned. Boom. And I got a couple requests. So I'm sending the link right now via Instagram. And be ready. You know, we've had people, take the calls from buses. We've had people on walks, escaping their families. You don't worry. You don't have to look your greatest. We understand.
No. Someone had PJs on too. Or
Totally.
yeah. They were like about to go to bed and they came on stream.
Absolutely. You know what inspired me to drink beer on this is I was watching a roaring kitty live stream from like back in the day. And he's always drinking beer on his live streams.
Then you gotta do it.
I mean, if it's good enough for Roaring Kitty. And we almost have 100 people. We almost have 100 people. This is what we're talking about.
102, baby. We just did it.
And the requests are coming in. And Leo, we are going to add you to the stage, but we don't see you. We do not see you, Leo. So Oh,
let's get this view going.
Can you hear me?
Oh, we can hear you all right.
My camera seems to be on. I'm not sure what needs to be done on my end. Camera off, camera on again. My God, come on now. I've been waiting for this moment for weeks.
Well,
what can I do here? Settings.
We're gonna put you back behind stage, and you figure it out behind stage, and you'll come back. This is
All right.
we'll get you, Leo. We're not gonna forget about Leo. Come on. Huh. Boom.
Hello, guys.
Pleasure. How do I pronounce your name? Eder?
Eder. Yeah. It's a name from Basque Country.
From where?
A little bit weird.
Where's it from?
Basque Country.
Oh, cool. Well, welcome to the stage.
Thank you, guys.
What do you got for us?
Well, I'm actually that kind of testing, developing an MVP, which is a web app right now, but it's meant to be. Yeah, I don't think it makes sense for it to be an app, just a web app. I think it's fine. It could be something like, the idea consists on. Let me put it in words, because right now it's just an idea and I'm not used to pitch it, but I'm gonna try. Let's say you want to contact some expert in something that has an Instagram account, or it is an influencer or something. And these people usually have a lot of different contacts, a lot of people trying to contact them. And of course, they cannot attend every message they send them, or they cannot even speak with their users, right? So this is an idea that will allow people to contact influencers by paying them. I mean, you as an influencer could, for example, create a profile on this web app, and then set some pricings for a video call, for a normal call, for a chat, and then put this link on your bio on your social accounts, and then people can contact you, can request a contact, and when you accept it and you contact with them, you get paid the amount that you set it.
And which influencer, like, any influencers, or are you specific to a type of influencer?
Yeah, I think mostly influencers that are not too big, because most of the times these influencers have their agencies and stuff, and this could complicate the scenery, because they also want to get paid, because all that happens with that influencer. They want to get paid because of it. So mostly small or medium influencers that are experts in some topic, maybe marketing influencers, maybe influencers that don't have agencies behind them, and they have a business model besides the visualizations and all of these ads and stuff they do on their social media.
Yeah. So I asked people if they sip or spit this idea, and you're getting a ton of sips. You're getting tons of sips. People are obsessed with this idea. And
great.
My personal opinion is it's a spit. And it's a spit because it's really hard to do what you want to do. So what you're trying to do is very similar. Here, let me share my screen. So it's very similar to essentially intro.
Sorry, can you repeat?
Can you see my screen?
Yeah.
Intro.co.
It's called intro. So you have people who, you can buy sessions. These are influencers and experts that you can buy sessions with them. And there's a bunch of different categories: wellness, career, style, beauty, astrology. So these are venture-backed. This is a venture-backed company doing millions a year in revenue. And what they're doing is it's so hard. If anyone who wants to create a marketplace, anyone who's listening to this, think about how hard it is. You have to get all these people to say yes. And these are all really busy people. So that's one side of the marketplace. And then you have to build the traffic to get people to book. because you're not going to get, Alexis Ohanian, the co-founder of Reddit, to keep that link in bio unless he's seeing bookings. So the hard part about this is the market that you're trying to target here is really busy people who like don't really need the money.
Mhm.
And then you're competing against people who, look at some of their, Kevin Hart as an investor. So I don't think this is a particularly good idea, but here's what I would do.
Uh-huh.
I think that the core of your idea, which is there are influencers that are smaller that could use new ways to monetize. Like that's the core of what you're saying is like, you're not talking about Kim Kardashian. You're talking about nano and micro influencers.
Yeah.
There's an opportunity to build a service business, an agency that is specifically focused on that market. So it's like, we don't touch influencers over 100,000 followers. Once you get 100,000 followers or 500,000 followers, whatever the number is, go to CAA, go to UTA, go to these big talent agencies that'll manage you, and let them have it. But there's probably a 10K to 100K a month business that is just consulting, working with some of these influencers and help and just building an agency around it. Now, that doesn't mean you can't create the marketplace in 2 years from now. It just means that step one is to build relationship with the nano micro influencers through a service business, way easier than building a marketplace. And then step two, eventually, don't forget your big vision, but step two is basically once you've built that credibility and you're the guy who is the nano influencer guy or the micro influencer guy, then you can think about building the marketplace. So that's my take on your idea.
Okay, kind of like it. So nice to have your opinion on this, and thank you to your community. Seems like they are
They love it.
Something like this, but of course, having the same place, influencers and users. Of course, users are more open to this than influencers. So I understand that this is the most difficult part of this business, of course. So thank you, Greg, and thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming up here. You're a legend.
Have something to say or?
Yeah, I agree with Greg, and you could even start very small with like a newsletter as the MVP, where maybe you get people to subscribe, nano influencers subscribe, go win a couple brand deals or whatever, and send them opportunities. That could be like the lowest hanging fruit where you could start this today, even. So, I agree with you, though.
Okay, thank you guys.
Yeah.
Have a good
later.
weekend.
Meet you.
Leo. Oh no, we don't hear you, but we see you now, which is positive.
We switched inputs.
Last time we couldn't see him. Now we can hear him. Amy to the stage. Welcome.
Hi, how are you guys?
Good. Are you excited to be here?
I am. I am a new follower, but already a huge fan. And I've had a ton of ideas lately. And so something like this is just awesome. I love what you're doing.
Well, we're lucky that you'll share it with this community. What's on your mind?
All right. So my background is in fintech, prop tech. And one thing that I had an idea around is there's not currently, to my knowledge, a service or a tool that is aimed at home sellers that helps them offer seller financing as an option to sell their home. A lot of the seller financing like resources that you see online are mainly aimed at buyers. And so the idea here would be that a service that basically serves sellers and helps them with everything from soup to nuts as it relates to seller financing. So getting contracts, finding potential buyers, qualifying those buyers, underwriting those buyers, and then all the way through like closing and collecting payments. And really, the idea would be aimed at those older sellers who don't need the cash up front, but would rather have the steady stream of income, and really be able to serve them from start to finish.
So how would that exactly work? So and maybe you can explain seller financing while you're explaining it for folks who don't know what that is, because I mean, I'm interested in this. My apartment is listed for sale. I've locked in a 2.875% 30-year mortgage.
Yep.
And how would you work with someone like me? How would that work?
Yeah. So you have your home listed on the market. So I actually got this idea from my own situation where I have a rental property that I want to offload in the next year or so. I love my tenants. They're great tenants. They pay on time. They've really settled into the home. So I would want to sell it to them, but they have really shitty credit. And so the idea would be that I would be able to go to this service that I'm thinking of and say, hey, I happen to already have a buyer in mind, but maybe I don't need to. What are the steps that I need to take to be able to close on a seller finance deal? So I obviously, as a seller, I need a promissory note, and I need to record a lien on title, and I need to figure out a way to collect payments, and I need a way to structure the deal. So, how much do I get down from, or how much do I ask for as a down payment? What are the monthly payments? How much do I charge in interest? Those are all things that I think there needs to be a resource available for these sellers who really don't know anything about the mortgage process, like yourself, but like want to be able to take advantage. And I think also, as the market right now, obviously it's more of a seller's market, but as the market turns and becomes a buyer's market, I think it also becomes an advantage for a seller to be able to offer financing and not have your buyer have to go through a bank.
This is like such a SIP idea.
This is a gulp.
Yeah. It's a gulp. It's one of those ideas, you hear it and you're like, why doesn't this exist?
Yeah.
Which is immediate green light.
Immediate green light. What's the business model of this business?
So I think you can easily monetize it with an upfront fee. I haven't thought like specific numbers yet, but an upfront fee plus a percentage of the payments that you're actually collecting on the back end. So like a loan servicer, for example, collects 25 bips on every payment that they collect on average. So it'd be something similar to that.
Your credibility also just went through the roof when you said bips.
Bips, baby.
And it rhymes with SIP, so I'm kind of like, where do I wire the money? This is.
Yay! I'm so glad you like it, because I've had a hard time validating this idea because I don't know very many people in the same shoes. But this is encouraging.
How do you actually go and start this thing? Like, what do you need to do to actually start this thing?
Honestly, I think it's something that you can start small. I think the biggest thing is getting those like legal resources to be able to draft contracts. That's not my area of expertise, but I think there's an easy way to market this to homes that have been on the market for a period of time and haven't sold, and sellers who maybe are having trouble selling. Also targeting, again, boomers who are ready to downsize their home and again want that steady stream of income. But I think you start really simple with a basic landing page, some legal resources. There may be some licensing involved as well, that you'd have to get licensed as a mortgage servicer. But I think that would be pretty minimal.
So I think there's like the startup cost of the legal side, right? And then there's the startup cost of like the landing page, the name, and then there's the cost of customer acquisition, which to me is a lot of if property has been on the market for 120 days or more, then send messages. So there's a huge cold email, cold DM campaign that you can do. And then there's obviously the whole social audience building content thing, where it's like so many people have heard of seller financing, but they just don't know how to do it, or they might not know what it is. let me show you a graph. I'm going to show you this graph, and it's one of those graphs where when I see it, it's beautiful. So I'm going to share my screen. Whenever I find an idea, I always check Google Trends. So I check Google Trends for seller financing, the interest over time, and it's really just going up and up and up. It's something that is, more and more top of mind. Look at that. From November. It's beautiful. You don't see this. This is a gift. You have a gift.
Yeah, that's right around the time that interest rates went up, and so this makes total sense to me.
So you can focus on different regions that are looking at it the most. So it looks like Utah, Arizona, Hawaii, Florida. Not surprisingly, Florida. I know there's a lot of selling over there right now. So that's something I would do, is think about how do you target the geographies that want this the most, and then building content around these queries, right? So like niche content, SEO. This is something that it'll get your customer acquisition on autopilot. You just build these niche pages, you do some cold DMs, content around it. This is like a great idea, and what I like about this so much versus like my sip versus spit of the other one. The other last idea was like, there's so many things that need to go right for this to work. It's a marketplace, right? You need a demand and supply, you need liquidity. But with this, you don't need that much to go right. It's quite validated. We've checked on Google Trends. This is a good idea, and I hope you do it.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate the feedback.
Of course. Thanks for coming up.
Send it when it's live. We're ready to see
absolutely.
it.
Will do.
We're going to add to the stage right now.
It's time.
You know what time it is.
It's Leo time.
It's Leo time. No, it's not Leo time. No. But yeah. It's cool. And I'm excited to talk to Leo, because I've actually chatted with Leo on Instagram, and so it's tough. It's tough, but it's not. Listen, sometimes it's not Leo time, and sometimes it's Leo time. And right now,
because you're in here twice, Leo.
And right now, it's not Leo time. I mean, we could add. Let's see. We added double Leo. Leo, chat. Say something. Oh, we hear you.
Me?
Yeah.
You can hear me?
That's the problem. Yeah. We got
no
audio
way.
Leo
I
and
run
video
and buy
Leo.
myself a lotto ticket. I apologize. I apologize to you and the audience. I did everything I could. I downloaded the app, but for some reason, I'm so thankful to be speaking with you both. Greg, you're a true inspiration. I'm a huge fan of yours, and thank you so much again for giving me this time.
Of course. No,
it's so hard to pitch after the previous business startup idea, which was brilliant. Mine is nothing compared to hers.
No, come on. First of all, Leo, tell people who you are.
Yeah, the people need to know.
My first name is Agil. My middle name is Leo. My last name is Abrahimi. I grew up in Montreal, so I am a Quebecois. And I practice law, and I'm also a musician. I'm a professional touring musician.
Amazing. And what's your idea?
So it's been a while. I've been looking for a way to stop exchanging my time for money. And to a large part, thanks to you, Greg. Like I said, you've inspired me so much. So I've been thinking, I've come up with this. It's not a new, I'm sure it's not a new idea. It's been there. Subscription-based legal / marketing / media services cater to creators, given the growth of the creator economy and the fact that legal services are not accessible to everyone because mainly of the cost. I thought, I would create a subscription-based business where I would provide value in educational material to creators, to artists. I mean, it could be niched down and focused on, for example, musicians or creators in general, YouTubers, influencers, and provide with them, because many of these creators don't have the knowledge when it comes to intellectual property and the fact that these are assets, and then these assets are capable of creating long-term income, recurring income. And so basically making them aware of this opportunity, I think it's valuable. And you would, you would also include like educational material on taxes, business formation, branding. I mean, you could focus on one thing, or you could just offer a number of services. And to provide great value, you would even throw in a 50% off trademark application for a 12-month with a 12-month subscription to the service. Then you would have access to all these online classes, weekly legal information sessions, weekly business coaching, group coaching. So this is in a nutshell the idea.
J-Mix, you want to give your opinion? I'm curious.
You got to niche it. You got to niche down all the way. No marketing, none of that. What's like your superpower in law?
So I practice entertainment law, more specifically music law.
Sweet.
I also have, my firm also does have an immigration practice tailored towards entrepreneurs and artists.
So I loved the trademark / patent / that offering for a subscription service. I think is really unique. I like that a lot because that's a very daunting activity for creators and someone who, they want to feel protected, but it's a great way to retain a client. And I would just like hyper focus on A, the law niche, and B, offering, like, I'm a big fan of this like help desk type model right now for like membership communities, where it's like $400-500 a month or whatever. You get access to a Leo chatbot plus Leo in a like community or membership model. So I think that could work here, but I would say niche down on law plus your superpower.
So
Thank you.
legal practices, still, it's crazy to say this, but in 2024, still don't understand the world we live in terms of customer acquisition, productized services, niching down, like what every creator does, just from like a funnel perspective, workshops, all these things they don't do. So I think that there's tons of opportunity to build a new legal practice, or a legal practice that does what we do in mind. I agree that like there needs to be a niche, and I think for you, I think what it could end up being is you have like multiple front doors. So you have your like immigration front door, you have your entertainment front door, you have your creator front door. I think for you, I would think about who's going to pay the most and who's most willing to put the money out. Musicians, for example, maybe less so, creators, maybe medium, but immigration is more of like immigration and trademarks and IP is more of a need to have. So I would probably start with like, from a prompt perspective, think about who needs this the most, and then what can I borrow from just people in our world, in the creator spaces, like the Sean Puris, the me's, the Sam Pars, the all these people, and build funnels, because there's so much you can do in terms of customer acquisition that you'll be able to acquire customers. Like, I actually was talking to a big firm the other day, and they wanted to, a top firm, I don't want to name them, but they, I was shocked to hear how big of a budget they have for travel and entertainment and events. And although that's, and sponsorships, actually, just like sponsoring, local hockey teams and basketball and stuff like that. So you're going to do so much better by audience building, content, organic, YouTube, AI assisted content, cold DM, cold email, and then the icing on the cake is positioning that's actually going to resonate with creators or with your audience. Because when I go to insert law firm name here, it all looks the same. It all looks like a WordPress, like old website with a lot of jargon on it. So I think that's your opportunity. And I think there's I have tremendous interest in where law goes and how legal practices evolve. And I think there's this is like a multi-$100 million opportunity for someone who gets it right. There was Justin Kahn. I don't know if you remember Justin Kahn. He's the co-founder of Twitch, which sold to Amazon for $1 billion. He worked on something called Atrium, and he was trying to reinvent the law firm, but raised like $40 or $50 million seed round doing it. He had a lot of good thinking, but I think there's an opportunity to do it, Leo, like productized service, don't raise money. So anyways, all that to say, this is a sip for me. I love what you're doing, niche down, and I think you'll be great.
Thank you so much. It means so much. Again, I apologize for the technical issues at the beginning.
You don't have to.
Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure speaking with you both.
Pleasure was ours. Both your video and your audio.
Thank you.
Posted.
We could have just kept his audio here for
what a legend.
Measure. How you feeling? How you feeling about these ideas before we get to the next person?
Feeling pretty good.
You got a Modelo.
Yeah, just special delivery from Courtney, my wife. So shout out Courtney for the Modelo.
Yeah, absolutely. That's awesome.
We're
How's that
locked in.
Modelo treating you?
It's pretty. Yeah, it's a special, as they say.
Oh wow, it is Friday, so why not? All right, so we're gonna get to it. We're gonna bring Iman to the stage. Welcome, welcome.
Hello. Yeah, I didn't think you were gonna pick me, so I'm a bit shocked.
And then we picked you, and then that's the way the world works.
Yeah, it's great. Thanks so much for having me. This is really cool.
Our pleasure. What's on your mind?
So, so my idea is kind of based on 2 experiences I had in previous jobs I worked in. So I worked in software engineering for a couple of years, and then I decided to try working in operations, so like just total internal business stuff. And I worked at a charity as well in operations, and they had like basically nothing was automated that they did. Like everything from like expenses to annual leave claiming, etc., was just people passing emails around and shit like that. And I built something while I was there, which was essentially all within Google Workspace. And it was an annual leave management tool that basically like allowed you to just have buttons to click approve and stuff via email, and it would just fill in a spreadsheet with like this calendar effect on the spreadsheet. And the idea is like a lot of small companies, like they don't want to leave the stuff that they know, and there was nothing about this that was outside of what they already knew, which was Google Workspace. So the idea being like a suite of HR tools where everything is just in Google Workspace. Like, yeah, it's kind of like on the idea that people say like every SaaS is a spreadsheet, but then if every SaaS is a spreadsheet, then just keep it in the spreadsheet, and maybe some people will like that. What do you guys think?
JMX?
I'm trying to visualize it.
So like imagine like a Google form where people can put in like the dates they want to take off, and like the code, like the reason. As soon as they hit send, they get a Gmail saying, like their line manager gets a Gmail saying like, do you want to approve this request? They can press a approve button in the email, and then in a Google sheet, there's like a, each cell is like a date, and it looks like a calendar, and it will like fill in the right places based on like what they've selected. Basically, yeah. Does that make more like visual sense?
Yeah, it makes sense. And it's just for like PTO, like vacations. Is it for a specific industry?
I think that's the thing in my mind. Like, I don't really know. Like, annual leave doesn't seem to be something that has a niche in my mind. Like maybe based on like company size or something. But I have that thing of like, how do I find a niche for this? And like a legitimate niche, not just saying I'm just going to pick something and gonna, just say put the name on it.
What's your thoughts, JMix? Then I'll go next.
Yeah. I want to hear your thoughts. I'm having a hard time finding like the application or like why I would want to look at a spreadsheet of leave versus just like a calendar, and like what the value for me would be as like if I was the business owner. So, yeah, I'm confused.
Iman, can you convince him?
So the value is like, so what these companies are doing before is they're simply just like emailing each other saying, please can I take these dates off? The person has to kind of go to a spreadsheet, fill it all in somewhere where they're storing this information. But this is all just connected now. Like, it's all just kind of buttons that people can press and forms that people can fill in. But it's not like an external application where they have to train their staff on that new application.
Yeah, we've got like a shared calendar that we use, and it works. It works pretty well because people like put the like request date on there, and then everyone can see that calendar, and then it just like overlaps exactly with our calendar. So
Jordan's out. He's
I'm out. I'm spitting for sure.
So here's what I gather from the idea. When it comes to PTOs and figuring out when someone's on and someone's off, we've all had issues where, oh my God, I didn't realize that Jordan's going to be off next week. And it completely derails our entire week. And, there's material impact to people who have PTO. Now, Google Calendar or Microsoft Outlook, the assumption there is that I'm looking in a calendar, and the assumption is I'm seeing it. I think that there's an opportunity to build an app that, and when I say app, I mean like a web app. I think there's an opportunity that just focuses on solving the problem of, we will inform your team. Like, we are the best platform for letting you know when people are on and off. So I think that, for example, you could do something like, it's a Slack bot that basically says, hey, reminder, Jordan's going to be off next week, and then post to a public channel. Like, that in itself is super valuable because now it's being socialized that person, and no one likes to do that. No one likes to be like, oh, hey, reminder, I'm going to be off. It's kind of like annoying. So I think there's an opportunity to build like the PTO app, just like there was an opportunity to build, I'll show this business real quick. Give me a second. I'll share my screen. So this business, Lattice, this is for performance reviews. This is like a multi-billion-dollar company. And it's just software around performance reviews. Comp cycle management, integrations. There's some like AI stuff, obviously. Team analytics. Like, wouldn't it be cool to see analytics on like PTO and who's taking it? Oh, hey, you're not taking PTO. Maybe you need a break. I feel like that there's an opportunity to build like the Lattice for PTO. That's my SIP idea for you based on what I heard. So that's what I would love for you to think about over the weekend.
And you could integrate it with like Slack, like you said, Greg, or Notion. So it's like when you're planning projects and I go to tag Greg or Colin or whoever, like it's like, oh, that's going to be pushed because he's going to be out or whatever. I think that would be super useful.
And OQ in the chat wrote, is PTO a small enough niche? It is a small enough niche. I'm not sure that this, like, here's my name for it for you. PTOpal.com.
Nice.
And I think that there's an opportunity just to drive traffic to something called PTO Pal. By the way, someone in the chat, don't take it. That's not the rules. You can't do that. We can't have that here. This is a positive
Lockup period.
Startups are hard enough as it is. We don't want that. Yeah. So the little lockup period. Amon gets 24 hours to buy it if she wants. And but yeah, I think that that's where the opportunity lies. And thanks for coming up. And I'll see you online.
Thanks, guys.
Later.
Thank you.
All right. We're going to bring up Alex, and then Yajur, you are on deck.
Hi, how's it going, Greg? Can you guys hear me, Greg, Jordan?
Yeah.
I'm a big fan of the show, so thank you guys very much. I'm a fourth-year university student from California. I'm an undergrad in chemistry, and I had this idea of starting a newsletter where we just share insights about just chemistry, science, and technology kind of related things. What I've been learning, just through, this is kind of my second career. I worked in healthcare for like 10 years, and then, now I'm in chemistry. So I'm about to graduate. I'm finding out that, chemistry information is it's just a small niche of people who don't really share that with anybody else. And I found that, when I tell somebody else some kind of insight that I have, in regards to the toxicity of a product, whether that be like a shampoo, just any cleaning product or anything like that, people are shocked as to how many carcinogens are out there. And just these kind of things, medicines, how they work and, how they harm you or whatnot. And so I thought about just a newsletter where you can share stuff like this, right? Like, scientific papers, journals. We talked about this on the show the other day, and I've been thinking about this idea for at least, I'd say, a few months to a year. And I'm a college student, right? So don't know really how to structure a business or even think about scaling or starting. So I just kind of want to come on here and share my idea and see if you guys would roast it for me, push me down the right track. And as a non-technical person, stuck in the very extreme of sciences, I just want to come on here and see if you guys could give me your advice and your thoughts.
JMX?
Beautiful. I love super technical people that are diving in to this world. There's not enough, and we love to see it. I think there's a huge opportunity. Have you seen Live Oasis?
No.
Live-oasis.com. It's like basically like a water toxin microplastic directory, and I think there could be an angle. Yeah, thank you, Greg. There could be an angle here with like everyday products, and I just learned about like a Teflon coating. I forget what it was called.
Yeah, it's really bad for you.
Yeah, so like the pan, like you could have a whole niche around just like cooking pans, I think.
Right.
Cutting boards, and like maybe start hyper niche in the kitchen.
Right.
I could see that. Kitchen cancer. Yeah. I don't know. That's a bad.
And these kind of videos on social media that I've seen, I've come across on TikTok, Instagram, whatever, they tend to get a lot of traffic and a lot of views, a lot of engagement, because people are shocked at these kind of things. And so when I talk to any of my other friends, whether they're in law or, other industries, they really have no idea, as to what products in their day-to-day lives are carcinogens or affecting them or whatnot, medicines or whatever it may be we talk about. People are shocked every single time. So I just thought there's so much value in information, especially as niche down as I am in, like chemistry, biochemistry. It gets really complicated. So it's really nice to stand out and be one of those scientists who can communicate those things well. Because typically, in science, there's really not that good of communication, right? Or entrepreneurship. And, we go to far lengths to study this kind of thing, and we just don't share with anybody. We publish papers and it just stays there. Sometimes we do research for 10 years on one medicine and then just move on. You know what I mean? And there's so much value for other people to be had from sharing this kind of stuff that I just thought free newsletter, just post about it somewhere on the social media platform. Hopefully, get people interested and, just start sharing information. Monetization, I have no idea. Maybe partnerships, sponsorships and, ad revenue through it. Through, I don't know, it could be medicine companies, healthcare companies, biotech companies, anything like that. But anyways, that's my idea. Let me know what you guys think.
So in the kitchen, agreed. I think you do short form, and it's really, you're kind of selling fear in a lot of ways. It's like, did you know that there's 1.2 billion, particles of plastic on, and then you like show it, and you're actually really good on camera. Like, I feel like this is a TikTok right now. Like, I feel, like
I see tons of them every day, and I just feel like, the more far down you are into the science, the more kind of nerdy you are, and the worse you are at posting content. But that's why I thought writing would be a little bit easier for me to get into, because as scientist, you're not really a content creator, and as much as you can do it, I think writing would be the least passive resistance. You know what I mean? But
I hear you, but I think that with writing in a newsletter, for example, you're not going to, like, you need top of the funnel, and the top of the funnel is going to come from short form. I think that you need a lot. I think you need to lean into, I'm a scientist, and let me tell you something. Like, lean into, I'm smarter than you. And Milky Nilky TV in the comment section wrote, like, Bobby approved. And so Bobby approved. I don't know if you know him, but
yeah. And so my sorry, go ahead, Greg.
His for folks who don't know who he is, I think his TikTok handle is Flav City Flav, and he goes around to Costco and Publix in Florida and Aldi and all these grocery chains, and he picks up regular products and he says, it's like, you think that this is a good product, and let me tell you why it's not a good product. Or and here's something else, that you buy cornflakes, you shouldn't buy cornflakes because there's processed sugar, and there's this and there's that, and there's Orange 12, which is banned in the US. Let me tell you, you should be buying this. And Aldi's own brand of cornflakes actually has 3 ingredients. And then what he's done is he's created a directory called Bobby Approved. This is Bobby Approved, and the guy is making millions of dollars a year.
I had a friend come to me exactly like this, and he asked me the same exact thing. He was a retired attorney, and he told me like Alex, give me your opinion on this. And he shows me the video of Bobby, and I'm like, this guy is incredible. He's really niched down, and he got all these people who are maybe retired, stay-at-home moms, or this kind of crowd that really follows him and goes to Costco and looks at these products. I thought that was amazing, and so I think the more credibility you can apply to that, the better. And I think I was just thinking about, my leverage as a scientist to be able to really, really get down into the science of things and really explain things really well. And from my experience in healthcare, people want to know, how those medicines are toxic, right? Like, if you take something today, you want to know what potential, harm that can do, or, little things like this. But I totally agree that social media should be top of the funnel. And so, given the circumstances we have now with TikTok and Instagram, and the kind of, it might be going off, it might be shutting down. What do you think? Where to start?
I mean, the beauty is it's vertical video, so it doesn't matter if TikTok shuts down, because what you create for short form, you can put on Instagram Reels, you can put on YouTube Shorts, and you can put on TikTok. If TikTok no longer exists, then it doesn't matter. Like, you just you'll be putting on Reels and Shorts. So I think that if I'm you, I'm spending the next 4 months or 4 or 6 months and be like, how do I become the best possible
authority in the niche,
in this, and learn about how to be amazing at short form video, and just watching a bunch of short form video, taking notes. I do think that there's a bigger, like, the macro trend is really Bobby approved for X. So for people listening who, Alex has a specific Bobby approved for exit he's working on, but there's probably like 100 ideas where you could go up and basically have taste and have curation and have technical analysis, create a point of view, and then send them to a directory. Like that's the idea. But for you specifically, I think in the kitchen, no brainer. This is an idea that's going to work. I look forward to seeing what happens.
It's got some built-in virality, I think.
You got to do the first one this weekend. I want the lab coat. I want you to print out the peer-reviewed paper. It's so boring. You're going to hold it up, rip it in half, be like, I read this, so you don't have to. And then just much right into it.
And this is what I do for fun anyway on my free time.
Let's see
it.
All right. Cool. Thank you guys so much for having me on. You guys have to start a community more like this all the time. I would totally 1,000% join. I watch all your videos, so I appreciate you guys coming on here and helping us out.
Well, we do have a community. It's called communityempire.co for those interested.
That's right. That's right.
We do jams like this. We had one yesterday where we were just jamming on ideas. So check it out. And there's also a free, you could just sign up to the free course as well. So there's a free 5-day email course. Thanks a lot, Alex.
So thanks you guys so much.
All righty.
For me.
You know what time it is.
What is it?
It's Yazure time.
Let's go. Let's go. He's been in the queue too.
He's been in the queue, but his video wasn't showing, so it wasn't. Yeah.
Oh, I was keeping my video off. But hi, Greg. Hi, Jordan. How are you guys?
Great.
Good. Nice to see you here.
Thank you. And it really means a lot for me to be here as well because it's 2:30 a.m. in India.
Yes.
So I've already come across your LinkedIn post of having these kind of chats, and I found them super useful. But then I always looked at the times on the EST. I'm like, oh no, not gonna happen. But I was awake today and I read a post. I think perfect back on. So let me just quickly introduce myself, right? So I'm from India. I just like Leo. I have also studied law. So I'm a business and law graduate. I graduated this year. I'm 23 years old, and I am building a startup which basically makes learning fun. So just to give you a bit of background in India, so all the education which I have been through, I have personally found it very boring and found it very monotonous because in India, at least, the high schools focus on rote learning. So what I've decided that I'll be focusing on 21st century skills with games. So for an example, I've created this game, which is a board game just like Monopoly. So it's a 2 to 4 player board game. It's called Startup High. And what it is based on is the fundamentals of an entrepreneurial mindset. So now what I want to do eventually is I want to take this game and many more games like this into schools. Tell them that, okay, I don't think books are useful anymore any longer. Take this board game, give an experiential, give a game-based, give a peer-to-peer learning opportunity and access to students so that they can actually learn 21st century skills, which is much needed, I think, in today's world, and then lead on, irrespective of whether they want to be an entrepreneur or irrespective of whatever they want to be. I think being problem solving, being opportunistic, being risk taking are important things which everyone needs to learn. So yes, looking for your opinion, your ideas, everything on it.
JMX?
That's really cool. I love that. We got to see do you have a website up for it?
The website is under construction, but I think, what do you want to see? I can redirect you to different pages for that.
Oh yeah, just we would love to see the game, the pieces. It's cool that you've already got a physical game made.
Thank you. So
yeah, I love that.
I do have a YouTube channel which I put on the trailer and a couple of more things regarding the video. I would also recommend you to check the trailer out if you like cinematic pieces. I've tried my best to make a cinematic trailer of this. Should I just tell you the YouTube channel?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, or drop it in the chat after.
Sure, I'll do that.
Cool. Yeah, I really like it. I mean, my mind immediately goes like, how do you get this digitized as soon as possible?
Yeah. What is the digital version of it? Just from a shareability perspective.
Correct. So, but I think so. There are two opinions. There are two thought processes of mine regarding digital version. So one is so the industry which I'm targeting is actually edutainment, which is basically education plus entertainment, right? Why I'm not bullish on digital? Three reasons. One, I'm not a tech person. The I find edtech or education technology has actually done more harm than good. For sure it has democratized education, but I think people actually need to get back to peer-to-peer learning, get back to off-screen learning for some time in the curriculum, and then go back. But of course, I do realize technology, I think, is a great distributor, and it democratizes a lot of information. So I think I am working on a tech version, but I think it will slightly take much more longer time than expected. So for the next 3-4 months at least, focusing only on the offline version, offline based learning.
Yeah, I love that. I love the mission behind that. I think I would think about how to design in I would think about how to design in like the IRL URL bridge, basically. Like, how do you get peer-to-peer learning, your time in, you can earn points digitally, and almost like Tamagotchi, throwing back the nostalgia, like little kids had to keep these like digital pets alive, or like the Farmville craze. I think there's a big opportunity to actually like create a secondary world around startups, entrepreneurship. You know, a lot of people want entrepreneurship, so I don't recommend it, but if you want to play, it would be cool to be able to play and build up like equity or coins or whatever. I don't know what you guys think about that.
I think what excites me about what you're doing is there's a huge percentage of parents that want their kids to be entrepreneurs, and there's no good ways for them to like. There's not enough structure. There's not enough product structures for them to go and become entrepreneurs. So I think there's like a big holding company opportunity to basically, you're starting with a board game, but I think having a suite of products that inspire people to become business owners. If you can make that,
there's tons of search volume for entrepreneur game for XYZ too. Yeah. Actually, it looks like Amazon ranks. What I would do is launch on Amazon, and then you could build links to the Amazon URL. Because an Amazon URL already ranks, you can probably dislodge that and replace yourself with it. Is what I've seen occur in the past. And then you can target parents that are business owners that have kids under the age of 18 on Facebook with Facebook ads. And then it's just a creative game of like, how do you get in? But that targeting is super easy to do. You can also buy those email addresses of people too. You probably cold email people this of like make your kid into an entrepreneur. But you can buy parent email addresses, lead lists, and then it's just like, cold email. I think it would probably make more sense on social. Like, I feel like social is going to be the way that I would do this, and go and find like mommy influencers, and like kind of that whole category, and then do like partnerships with them of, like, here's this game that teaches your kid the skill sets. And what I would try to do is like tap into another like game that people know too. It's like, Monopoly was actually created to like teach people how
capitalism,
land. Yeah, exactly. Capitalism, right? Like how landlords exist. But what I would say is be like, hey, we're the monopoly for the 2020, for the 21st century or whatever, right? So it's like basically taking this old idea that people already have a connection with, or what I would actually position it as is like, we're the monopoly for the internet age, something like that. And then basically the game teaches them how to build internet-based companies in this whole new paradigm. But yeah, I mean, there's your whole go-to-market strategy is probably somewhere in that, but.
Interesting. I think lots of interesting points here. By the way, Jordan, if you want to look at the website, you can still, I don't think it's complete, but it's startuphigh.in. So you can just check that out. I think you'll find the trailer there.
Cool. Well, we'll check it out. But I think that's the big idea. Look at search volume, build multiple products. I think you'll have physical ones, digital ones. And I see, it's validated, right? So we love to build things where it's validated. That's a validated thing. So we'll keep an eye out for it. Thanks for coming up.
Perfect. Thank you so much, guys.
What are you sipping on, Cody?
Dude, I've been drinking coffee all day. I'm about to go get a gin and tonic though. If we should we do that? You guys hold on. I'll go get a gin and tonic back.
Yeah. Okay,
G&Ts.
go for it.
A little delayed.
What? You're fine. You're crushing it.
Okay, cool. I thought it was a little delayed. I didn't know if it was StreamYard. I'll be right back.
Yeah.
What is everyone in the stream sipping on?
What are people sipping on?
I mean,
what are people sipping on?
Surely something.
Surely something. If Cody Schneider's getting a G&T, you certainly should get something. I think that what we'll do for the rest of the stream is, I think I'm gonna jam with Cody for a bit, and then we're gonna head out.
Dope.
And I just want to see what's on Cody's mind right now. But while we're waiting, let's bring Meat. Is that your real name? You're on mute, Meat.
Just a sec.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was. My name is Meet. It's Meet Shukla.
Oh, beautiful.
Yes.
Welcome to the stage. Do you have an idea for us?
So it's not an idea. I'm currently working on a product which I think is dying down. I'm probably gonna switch or pivot it a bit, but so the thing is that I'm basically a software developer right now in Ottawa, very near to you, Greg.
Yeah.
And so I just graduated from master's degree right now, and so trying to build this product on nights and weekends. So this is my first product, first try at building a product from scratch. So it's called Clip.io. It's basically a tool for creators to sell digital downloads and also sell their time. So as in like a Calendly alternative within the product itself. I know I was just building it for like learning and stuff, but tried to convert it into a product. So thought it was a huge market. That's why I converted it into a product. And I just wanted to know if you guys have some growth tactics or what things I could do to get few of the initial users or
it's
things
called
like
Clip?
that.
How do I spell that?
Klipp.io.
Well, that's your first problem.
The double P?
The K and the double P, and I think it's hard to spell, but let's see what we can do. All right. So I've got it live here. Best fit for modern creators and entrepreneurs. Launch your digital store in 5 minutes. Sell digital products, schedule meetings, offer coaching, consolidate links in your link and bio store. Interesting. So who do you compete against?
So yeah, we are competing against Stan Store, and that's why they're doing 20 million ARR, and they're a VC-backed company. So we thought that we can maybe take a cut of the pie, but that's not really happening. I tried to DM like about 1,000 people on TikTok and Instagram, but they're really very much affiliated. Like they're not even earning money, the creators who are using Stan Store. And then also they're like wannabe creators, and so they're only following the creators who are already bigger than them, and all of them are using Stan Store. So I'm not sure if I can get those creators, but they don't have a lot of users on Twitter and LinkedIn, like Stan Store themselves. So I was maybe thinking to target solopreneurs and like solopreneur side of Twitter and LinkedIn.
Okay, and let's check out Stan Store. Like from a features perspective, are you like very similar? Would you say?
I think I have about 70% of the feature what Stan Store has.
But so like why would someone actually use you versus Stan Store if you have 70%?
So that you're right. Like you're right on that part. Like I am also not able to answer that question, to be very honest. So that's why I'm trying.
You know what it is? Don't compete in these markets. Like, why do people do this to themselves? It's like
Didn't Stan raise like fucking 20 million in their last round too? Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah. It's too much work for you, dude. Like you should focus this energy somewhere else.
What's the most valuable part of this? How can you abstract that out into like another place? Is it like the payment process? I don't know. Sorry, I'm coming in late. I was like
No, no
trying
worries.
to find
So
liquor in my
yeah,
cabinet. So.
so to be very honest, it didn't took a lot of development effort, like because I've been a developer since like last 3-4 years. So it just took me 2 months to develop. So it's not too much of developing effort. But and I was very new to like Next.js and stuff. So like that's why it took a little bit of time. But otherwise it would take only a month to build. So not core value too much in development. But it's like I thought like doing all of the parts of digital products and scheduling, which a lot of creators use newsletter, a lot of creators use Calendly for their scheduling part, sell digital products. So merging all of them inside one tool.
What's a niche you can go after that they're not going after?
That was my next question. So like ConvertKit as an example, like they were competing against MailChimp. How'd they win is because they went after bloggers and they were underserved and they built products that were specific for them. It's like that same idea, like basically, picking a subset that's underserved. And this is the hardest part of this, what you're doing, right? Is like, and with like a stand store, the problem too is like you're competing against, like they're just going to go hire influencers to promote the tool. And then other influencers are going to see the tool. And then it's just like, it's going to create this like viral
So
effect.
the thing is that I talked to one of the creators who is on Stand Store and they're paying like $500 a month to those creators.
Yeah, exactly.
Just to put videos on TikTok.
It's
so
VC
I can't compete against that.
yeah.
I can't compete against that.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought that maybe I can go on Twitter and LinkedIn and solopreneurs on that thing, on whole that niche, because I don't think a lot of people on Twitter also knows of Stand Store itself.
Totally. Hold on, I got to find this company. I have an idea for you. And I think you could go after coaches doing this.
There's Practice. Have you seen Practice?
No,
Practice.
I haven't seen that.
So
I gotta find. Sorry, I'm in some like LinkedIn growth pod bullshit with this person, so I gotta go find whatever it is. Here it is. Okay.
I invested in this business. A16Z backed. Like it's just you don't really want to compete against these types of businesses, you know?
It's so hard.
Yeah.
Coachvox.ai. Here, I'll drop it in the YouTube.
I got it. I'll share my screen. Coachvox.ai.
Yeah, and they build, if I understand correctly, I still am confused. Like their fucking positioning on their website is very confusing. But what I believe they do is they make like a digital chat bot for like coaches and creators for their think character AI, but like for a business like coach, right? Or like a mental health coach or a fitness coach or whatever. They basically like take all of that person's knowledge and then they build like a digital version of them that people can pay to access. I think that there's something probably in here with like what you've built and then also this. And then your go-to-market is just like go sell coaches on making a digital version of them. Because what you're doing is you're creating a new revenue stream for them, right? And then you take a rake off of the subscription service is like how I believe it's structured. So it's like I mean, she's paying like $99, but I mean, probably how I would do it is I would go and like train a model, like make like what is it called? Like Lenny bot. Have you seen this, Greg?
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
Yeah.
Make like a Lenny bot. Is it lennybot.com or .co? Yeah, .com. Here, I'll drop it in the chat too. And I would do basically like that, but for coaches or creators with all their knowledge. And then they get to charge their audience for access to them, or if they're just like already a coaching. Because like when you think about a coaches, right? Like what do? They build all this top of funnel. And then there's, probably 90% of the people don't actually buy from them. They're just like consuming their free content. And then 10% turn into actual paying company. It's probably even less. Like we should have a coach on at some point to talk about this. Greg, have a coach on at some point to talk about their unit economics. That would be super interesting. But that whole other set, like what the product offering or how you could go to market with it to get the positioning right is like you have this whole group of people that you will never actively coach. They will never pay for coaching, but you could still monetize them with a tool like this that's at a way cheaper price point. So they get like, we'll say 70% of the effectiveness of the coaching or 50% of the effectiveness of the coaching. But it's just at a way cheaper cost, a tenth of the cost of what the coaching is. And like, I think that's an upsell. This idea is the same idea as the AI like voice chat bots that people are starting to like deploy out for like car dealerships and shit. Their angle of how they're getting into car dealerships is like, yo, when your team is offline, like it's like, 9 p.m. at night and somebody calls you, instead of going to voicemail, we're going to answer this. And it doesn't have to be as good as the person that is in the daytime, right? It just has to be good enough of what's currently happening, which is no one. So of course it's going to be good enough. So even if it, increases revenue just a small percentage, it's that same idea. So it's like you make a new revenue stream for them that they otherwise couldn't have off of the audience they already have. It's just like they deploy it. So anyway, just a thought. But
and then you can charge monthly, yearly for it, or even do a rev share. So you can give people the option.
Yeah, free tier with a rev share, and then Teachable has great pricing like this, where it's like, it's like I think it's 10% transaction fee if you're on that free, and then base bump up. So sorry, Greg, didn't mean to cut you off.
Yeah, no. Teachable is like they crush it here.
Yeah, they're so good at this. So what is that? $1 and 10%. Like think about that. Like that's insane, right? So it's like, of course, I'm going to buy the 39 or go up all the way to the 199. Yeah, if they're a legit coach, like I'm just thinking about some of these like marketing coaches, like a fucking Amy Porterfield or something like that, that's charging whatever. I don't even know her number anymore. It's like $1,500 an hour or something, insane. Like if they can go and somebody can subscribe to her thing for $29. Think about 100,000. I mean, she's got a top one marketing podcast in the US, right? Like, I mean, she's going to sell 100,000 of those, and of course she'll pay you, $99 a month to be able to have that chatbot live that people can interact with. I think it's going to be, the weird part is going to be figuring out how do you get them to like coach. It's like, hey, this is and it's based off of the source material. So you build this whole corpus of information of their knowledge, and then that's like transferred into the chatbot and like acts like them, talks like them, uses the vocabulary like them. So it sounds like them, it feels like them, but. I mean, again, I know a little bit about the space just with the type of product I own, and I think that there's a huge opportunity for this. So,
yeah, it was great. Thank you so much, guys.
Hell yeah, brother. Mate. Good luck, man.
Good luck. Go get him. I removed myself.
Hell yeah.
Honestly, I felt you feel bad for that. People like that, right? Like they spend a bunch of time. I know he just says 2 months, but it's just like the energy into something, and then you realize like you're competing against behemoths. But here's the thing: it's still like not wasted time, right? Because if he just niches it, sort of pivots and niches down, he's got something.
Totally. Also, the Stan Store founder is like a fucking gangster. Like I wouldn't want to compete against him. Like 0% chance.
Yeah.
Like, have you seen his YouTube? It's absolutely popping off.
Yeah, didn't he come from Wall Street too?
Yeah, I think he was IB before this, which is like, I mean, they just know how to crush content because they're used to crazy hours, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's like 100 hours minimum.
100%. It's like, dude, this is nothing. I'm doing 70-hour weeks.
Light work.
Nothing. Yeah, exactly. That's a chill work week for me.
Exactly.
That's a long weekend work week for me.
Yeah, and Bob's not breathing down my neck at midnight.
I don't have Stacy texting me at 2 a.m. and expecting a response in 15 minutes. Dude, I had a roommate like that. It was like you had a 15-minute rule. Like you had to respond in 15 minutes if a superior reached out.
They'll just dip out. Like we're at dinner, it's just they're gone.
100%. And what's terrible is like I feel like they just did it to like lord power over people. It was like let's see if he's up at 1 a.m. Like they're like out with their boys getting a fucking drink, and they're just gonna like hit up Jack and be like, "Oh, you up? Like you got to do this prospectus right now."
PowerPoint better be loaded, Jack.
Exactly, man. But anyway.
I invited a couple more people before we head out. One, cool. I just had to. I don't even know what this means. A med school in a weekend, like.
Oh, that's sick! I'm so down.
That's the thing. Sure. The pitches that work, like because now I'm getting like 100 DM, 75 DMs, right?
Totally.
Just say it in like 5 words. You know what I mean?
Totally. And like have it be like a hook like that, right? I'm like, what do you mean med school in a weekend? Like
not possible.
Totally.
Impossible. No, what do you mean? Med school is 4 years.
Totally.
4-hour surgeon.
4-hour surgeon. 4-hour surgeon. All right. Are you the med school in a weekend guy?
Yeah, exactly.
Hell yeah. Hype.
You look like med school in a weekend, and I mean that as a compliment.
Thank you. So this is just like a half-baked idea. I just saw you are live, and I just came up with something.
We are here for half-baked ideas.
Let's go.
For half-baked ideas.
Okay, so I'm finally a medical student. So the idea is like right now, a lot of people are hyped about Huberman, optimization, running clubs, peptides, stem cells, everything, all the good things. So, but not everyone like understands like the basic like physiology and anatomy about all the things. So the idea is to create like a course called Med School in a Weekend, where I just go through the whole med school curriculum, very basic, very simple, so people can like get an idea what everyone is talking about. Like, so you understand what Huberman is actually saying in 3.5 hours.
Super interesting.
Yeah, this is a lock for me.
It's a lock, dude.
Yeah, this is start cooking right now.
As all three of us frantically look up shit in the background. You don't see our screens right now, but we're all doing research.
No, yeah, this is a lock. This is a lock and a half.
So the thing is, I have to think about how to get like traffic to the site. So essentially, I'm thinking in the beginning, I need some like probably need some testimonials for like some reputable people in the beginning. Maybe the Codys, the Gregs.
Dude, I think this is a social play. So this is a social clip play of like you have some hook and use Huberman. I would just literally show Huberman. Like Huberman said this on the last podcast, right? And it's like some fucking esoteric bullshit that nobody knows what it is. And
Stitch incoming.
Exactly. And then you're like, let me know, let me explain to you in plain English what this is. And then it's like, boom, you just go into it. Or like, you need to probably add some social proof there. So it'd be like, I'm a fifth year med student. Let me explain to you what this means. Boom. And then it drops right into that. And then that's top of funnel. And then you just lead them into, it's the classic, community to, whatever Greg's playbook is now to like drip them down into to this thing. I mean, you could probably just send them right to the course and then run remarketing and that type of thing. But what's your guys' thoughts?
Yeah, I think audience community product, right? It's a simple short form top. I think that the name itself is just viral. Like it creates curiosity and intrigue. So somehow the domain's available. So get it, because I said a domain that was available before and someone took it, I think. So get it like right now. Though I don't know why you're listening to us right now. Like, get
I have my assistant right here, my brother.
Oh, you have an assistant.
Literally buy the domain. Like right now, some fucker will go do it. There's too many people
Dude,
here.
Someone did that on this.
It's probably happening right now.
I know. I was like,
you love Greg, don't do this.
Yeah. So
house rules.
Yeah,
exactly.
But
I think what are you going to charge for something like this?
Yeah, that's the question. Now I'm just riffing right now. So I'm thinking.
We know you're riffing. We've known you for 2 minutes. You have nothing but a domain now.
Let's go. So I'm thinking like you can begin like lower in the market, start with like Twitter, Instagram, etc. Then you can take that as a lower tier course. I don't know, like $49 or something. Then you can buy up some traction more.
Way more. $500, $499 at least.
Yeah. $497.
Start with that.
You know how much med school costs? About one?
I live in Denmark. It's free.
No. What do you mean? No. You live in New York City now, and med school costs $400,000.
Yeah. Okay.
And that's on the website. You put med school for Columbia University, $400,000 with a bar chart, and then you say med school in a weekend, $499.
Yeah.
But the idea is to start with like maybe go higher in price, and then you can use.
There'll be more trust. Sorry, this is a psychological thing. The higher the price the course is, hell yeah. I love Carlsberg. You got green cans right now? Let's go. The higher the price is, the more trust is built into it. So if you actually go lower, it's going to negatively affect the sales that you get. Like every course I've ever helped people sell, I don't sell courses because it's a rule. But every course that I've ever helped people sell, we've increased price and only seen conversion increase over time. So it's
you can start with a course maybe higher price, and then when you build up some traction, you can do another course a bit more advanced, and you can sell it to like people who are pre-med, nurses, PAs, people who want to go to med school or nursing school, and then you can build up some traction there, get some testimonials, and then try to roll out to high schools maybe.
I did consulting for this company forever ago. They did like certifications, like career certifications. Dude, they printed money, and it was literally just an online course business. Like they had to get actual certified at a government level. But a lot of the times, if you're a practitioner, you can go and get that super easily. Like that we're going to teach this course and this is a CEU or whatever. But like it was a requirement to get into nursing school, right? And then all they did, it was just a content play for like top of funnel down into this. Like this company, the first version is you sell through this Huberman thing we're talking about, but it probably evolves into that where it's like, oh, this is a career certification for the medical industry type of company, right? Yeah, I mean, that there is like a $50 million to $100 million a year business.
Let's go.
When you get it.
So get out of here.
Yeah.
Get out of here.
If you got one in, I can send it to you. The first version.
No, I would love to see it. We love when people actually ship on this stuff. Dude.
Yeah, exactly.
Half the time, nobody does anything. So
don't be an idea guy. Be a product guy.
I'm not an entrepreneur, even though I have one in my name.
Bubble entrepreneur. All right, man. Get out of here. Go build. Get you and your assistant. Get your who is this guy?
It's his brother.
My brother. Yeah.
We have the same name almost.
This Cowan.
Amazing. You guys are perfect.
Are you in med school too?
I go to law school.
Even better. On a weekend? I mean, what are we doing?
On a weekend?
Franchise?
Dude, law school in a weekend is such a good idea.
Pay for business law school in a weekend.
Totally, because all of us entrepreneurs.
I literally have a business law book that's sitting in my library, and I haven't touched it in 3 years. And it's the fucking most dense shit ever. Just tell me the fucking exploits I can use in business. Like that's all I want.
Yeah. Let's go. Thank you guys.
Later.
Yeah. Good luck, man. Nice to meet you guys.
All right. We're gonna do one more. We're gonna do one last one.
Fuck, that's such a good idea.
That was a good one. That was a good one.
I mean,
he's good. I like that energy. I like that young energy too. That was cool.
The assistant, just brother.
Yeah.
Lawyer.
I love it.
Ooh, Henry in the
Henry, what's
house.
up?
Oh, awesome. I was literally working, and this is the first live one I listened to. I was like, oh, shit, I'll see if I can get on deck.
And you're here.
Sweet. So my idea, I started working on this a little bit before I got derailed, is I have been watching a whole bunch of people I know go through retirement. So my dad is in his late 60s.
Tell me what it is. I'll tell you how to sell it. I'm already
All right. All right. So my parents, relatively low income. I'm the first one for my family to go through college and all that. And I've been watching my parents go through retirement, and it's a total shit show. Now I'm in banking and finance, and my buddy who got me in is turning 65. He's retiring in 3 weeks. He was telling me it's been a total shit show for him, and he makes 6 figures, good money. It's like, okay, this is bullshit. The American retirement system is just totally backwards. So I started playing around on this idea of a retirement concierge. As all the white collar jobs are getting replaced with AI. So I was training a chatbot in ChatGPT, and I was able to replicate the advice that my banker friend and my parents were getting, that they're paying $2-3K for, meeting with retirement advisors. And I could do it in 8 minutes, dicking around in ChatGPT with a bot that I had built.
What would they call that? Retirement planning? Like, how would somebody search for this online? Like,
So when you look for retirement finance advice, really you're kind of going against Forbes, Investopedia, things of that nature. There is, sorry guys, I haven't worked on this in like a month, so I'm not super fresh.
This is perfect.
There is Medicare concierges, something like that. That is what could really print. But I think you do need to have licensed Medicare people on your team.
Medicare agent. I did consulting for a company that was a CRM for Medicare agents. You do. It's kind of a bitch. It's also just you're fucking with the government. It sucks. I would not do it again.
Yeah. So that was one of the ideas of what you could branch into. But the starting MVP would be this retirement concierge. So create a bunch of content around retirement. It's your free lead magnet, although that's kind of hard with Google's latest update. But let's call it $100, $120 a year for people, and it's like $10 a month for people turning 65, and it'll run you through the A to Z of retirement. I had it print out retirement plans, kind of check that with people I know. You'll go through your assets, and it'll kind of like it's not supposed to advise you. They say ChatGPT cannot give you financial advice, but it totally will. So I can get it to work.
You can get Llama to do this too. If you like, just like an open source model will 100% do this as well. So
that's what I thought.
Yeah. All right.
So
I'm looking at keywords right now, like retirement or dentist retirement planning, retirement income planning, Orlando. Like there's just thousands of these keywords related to this.
If I were you, I would be building like dentistretirementai.com.
Yeah.
You know, doctorretirementai.com, lawyer.
I think he's trying to go broader though. Those people that can't afford a traditional like financial, what would they call this person? A retirement? Would it be a financial advisor? Like how would somebody search this?
Right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I'm struggling with is for so many people, it is the financial aspect, but it will give you legal advice. It will give you medical advice just as good as basically 80%
it's retirement
of the white
planning. That looks like it's what it is.
Yeah.
Here, hold on. I can give you the keyword volume. Give me 1 second.
I wonder if you start like even like younger when you're like buying life insurance.
Yeah, so it's a cross sell that's happening at the agent level because then you can use them. They're like an affiliate. Then they're already used to selling these packages too.
That's all they do. That's how they make most of their money.
Though, which sucks. That's the only problem.
Yeah, it's
tight. You know, I think you can do kind of like an affiliate thing. Like, okay, you're through this step. Now you're at the choose your Medicare provider. Affiliate link out to the top rated people. Things of that nature. Oh, you need.
So it's a lead gen tool for you could do that.
I had it giving very Angie's List-like advice. You think so?
Yeah,
that community, like it's
60 plus, 60 to 65, and I mean, I ran these ads before. They're so cheap, and they'll click on anything. It's insane. And then just do like a conversion campaign to them. Like this is totally exploiting them, but 100%. It can't be an app though. We'll have trouble installing it. It'll have to be like some type of form that they fill out on mobile. And then that leads them kind of down into it. I don't know how you do that. Honestly, what I would probably do, this would be super interesting, is like get it into a text then. It's like a text message thing. And just use like Twilio, and that's how it initially happens. So it's like they fill out.
I was just looking at some Twilio automations yesterday.
100%. And then they can text the advisor like questions and shit. I was pitched. My friend's probably going to build this new company, and it's basically that, but for like a nutrition, or for like nutrition coaching. I think it was actually after the call we had like 2 weeks ago, Greg, or whatever. But he's going to just do it over text message because that's how everybody wants to interact with this. Like they don't want to, like, it's just like something that's built into every phone. Right. So
do you have to get consent for that? Because I thought there were some laws around robo messaging.
No. So if they fill out the form, it can be a notification message like, hey, thanks for signing up for blah, blah, blah. Like you can text this number back at any point with questions, and like your digital financial advisor, digital retirement advisor will help like work with you or whatever. I don't know the financial regulation laws around this, though. That's the only thing. Like the compliance piece. What is it? FINRA? I can't remember that.
FINRA.
Yeah,
exactly. Do your own research on that. I think that.
Okay.
You guys remember Miss Cleo?
No.
Okay, Miss Cleo was she made tens of millions of dollars, and what she did was she did advertisements. Like 1-800 number for tarot card readings.
Oh shit, I do remember this.
Okay. So I wonder if there's an opportunity to create like the Miss Cleo for retirement using your idea, Cody, of like if texting is the new 1-800 number, like the mental model they understand, and you're like, what does that look like? And you create these like videos around it, and it's just a character that might connect a little more than just like retirees.com.
I think that's 100%
interesting.
And then it's just a sign up form. I would do Facebook ads again to 60 to 64 probably. I can tell you how many people there are in the US actually that are with that.
Yes, give me the info.
Yeah.
That's why you're here, Henry.
That's right.
You're here for the info.
I got it to work phenomenally well, and I was thinking about building traffic through Topical Authority, but then with the last like Google update, it's like, okay, you're just going to get crushed by Forbes and Investopedia. So I think marketing directly to that demographic.
If you're an app though, like if you're a legitimate business, you can do well in these spaces, still going after long tail keywords, but it's like have a public business profile, like some type of physical address. That's how we're kind of hacking this right now, is like make it, real companies still rank with SEO content, like at scale, is what we're seeing, like be the kind of unfiltered. But Greg probably has any more data on that too.
It's not to like, kind of grift off that age group, is that they do have a little bit of money, but it's to help them just get that information without all the bullshit. Like I was having it make legal forms like that, power of attorney, easy.
There's 5 to 6 million people in the US between the age of 60 and 64 you can target on Facebook right now. And I bet you could do, I would just run a lead form. You could probably spin up a WordPress website with like sign up to get free. I don't know, some type of, I don't know what the offer would be on that. Because they're probably hesitant on AI. I wouldn't even call it AI. I would call it, I think what you're saying, the concierge, that positioning is super good. Maybe it's like financial planning concierge, like something like that.
I had like 10 AI names and I threw them all in the fucking trash. I was like, everyone who's over 60 is terrified of it,
1000%.
But they would benefit tremendously from it. It's just a
my prepper dad's in the bunker already. I mean, he's like, he's down there.
And then another marketing channel I was thinking of would be affiliate marketing with millennials, giving them like a lifetime rev share if they sign their parents up. Every kid out there is like, Jesus Christ, Dad, let me just help you with this. Your parents never let you. Just, like, I don't know, we're all in our late 30s, early 40s or whatever. You could walk your parents through this and you could get affiliate income from them being signed up and then eventually work towards like tax services.
I find that a bit weird personally, but it might work.
Has no one else been in that position where your parents are struggling with someone, like something technically, and then you got to walk them through
just
it,
the
look up the
affiliate
information
account with your parents. It's like, Mom, sign up to this, with this link. You're gonna love it.
I mean,
did it with Bitcoin.
You can't reset the printer, but I've seen her do shit on Facebook that's insane. Like stuff I don't even know, and I do this for a living. Yeah, and I think the concierge, the calling it something like retirement concierge, that domain is available, but it's 15 grand.
That's not crazy.
That's not crazy. I would do a variation of that, and then you buy that.
So I bought retirees.online just to start.
I would get a .com,
get
a variation of that .com, because all that age demo has a really their trust is built into .com domains.
Totally.
And then I would buy that domain as time goes on. So you I don't want to actually give this away, but like retirement concierge app.com or retirement concierge, something like that. And then you can always go and buy that domain. Like nobody's going to go spend 15 grand right now on this thing.
If you're going to do the Miss Cleo thing, it's like JohnnyTheRetirementConcierge.com.
It's great. Yeah. So it's like a name.
Yeah.
Like John the Concierge. Yeah. Some name that fits that boomer demo. But they're like, I know a John. I trust a John, like whatever that is. Here, let's look it up actually. What's the most trustworthy boomer name? I'll have Perplexity write some up for us.
What do you guys think about productizing a service like that? Because I would love to put like lots of free information out there, just like the shit that you want to Google as you're coming up to retirement that is so hard. I want there to be free information. But like, what do you guys think is a fair price point for basically aggregating this information and pointing them in the right directions?
When I'm doing app shit like this, I do free info that leads into some type of service that's like a repeat purchase, because the customer lifetime value is insane on this, right? Like great company that does this is like Flow, the period tracking app. I think they do like ovulation and now stuff too, but they put out like a ton of free content. Like it's actually an unbelievable like resource. But all that leads into is like, they're just selling you, a subscription to this $10 app or whatever. I think that to me, that's the angle where it's like, okay, you help a ton of people, and then simultaneously you are also, creating that sustainability with the cash flow. But I'm curious what the other guys think.
Okay. And yeah, Greg, I get what you're saying with the name. That kind of reminds me of, oh my God, Marketing Secrets book. Shit, the guy out of Idaho, I can't remember his name, but creating that charismatic character for them to align with.
Yeah, these are people who need a character. They need a character, and the .com is gonna go away. Like it's gonna go a long way. the character is gonna. It also just gives you opportunity to create interesting content and interesting creative around it. So I think that's the play. And then in terms of like pricing it, I think these are customers that could last 20, 30, 40 years, right? So it's just really about getting them in the system and then getting,
they don't churn too because they don't know how to. So like once you're in, their CLV is crazy. I got the most.
How do you think?
Good.
Good. How do you think a customer like that would stay if it's to get them through retirement A to Z, and then they hit retirement? What is the appeal of staying with a service like that?
I think there's still financial planning, right? Like throughout that whole period, and like maybe checkups or I don't know.
Think about it. More, market goes down 10%, and what does that mean for me? I think that the whole goal is you're going to build retirement with Johnny the Retirement Concierge.com over this 10 years. And it's like, great, congrats. You've now graduated from Johnny the Retirement Concierge to like, I'm Johnny, your homie. And you have any question about finance, this, that, or the other, like I'm here for you. And you've already
plugged into their Fidelity, and it's like, yo, don't worry, the market will correct.
Just sending them inspirational quotes.
All right, here's the most trustworthy boomer names for you: Michael, James, William, Robert, and John, based off of all the data that I just scraped.
It's funny. The old kind of rich banker guy that I sat down and shot this idea with, his name is Michael, and he's retiring in 2 weeks. So I might try to make him my avatar for this business because I know he's going to be bored as hell.
In the baby boomer generation, 833,000 men were named Michael.
Very original.
I feel like William could rip too. It means resolute protector. 7th most popular boomer name.
I kind of like Jeffrey.
Okay. Jeffrey could be cool too.
Jeffrey. Yeah, because that's like, isn't that the butler?
Yeah, exactly. I'm thinking like Ash Eves meets Miss Cleo.
It needs to be above the butler though, right? Like mentally, it needs to be. It needs to be like, I would trust my banker, right? So like, it needs to be at that level. Because like Jeffrey, you're like, oh fuck, do I want him touching my finances? I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong, but I'm just thinking about the brand.
So I'm broke as shit. I have a disabled wife and 2 young kids. What is a way I could try to make this generate quickly? Would it be like a paid wait list? Kind of like a quiz, like, are you ready to retire?
Productized service for sure. I would like that exact same marketing strategy we were talking about, sending to that landing page, and then like what you just did for your dad. How do you turn that into like a playbook that you can run with these people? I don't know what the pricing would need to be. It's like for it to be even worth it for you, it's probably $500. And then it's like they have you have an add-on subscription service where it's like, if you $100 a month if you want to continue to do this, and then whatever you build, you turn that into a piece of software.
Damn, I was thinking like $10 a month to make $120 a year, but
no, man, I would way more, especially because there's a trust factor that's built into it, right? Like the higher you price it, the more trust is going to be built into it. It's finding that tipping point of like what the average person can afford and what is, it's like basically that threshold of what they'll pay. But like the higher you can go, the more trust there will be probably with something like this. So.
And that's true. Like with my parents' example, they paid, $2,000 and they had to wait like a month to get a response. And I just basically did that same thing in parallel and got the response in 8 minutes.
Yeah,
so. Totally. I mean,
okay.
So you said they charge $2,000. So charge 20% of that. So that's 400. Yep. And then do the digital version of it. I would start local. Where are you based out of? Or like geography?
Out of Seattle.
Seattle, word. That's a big enough demo. I would go there locally, because then it's like they're like, oh, like you. And I would emphasize that, like, we're it's like local. This is Seattle. I just do this digitally because you can tap into that, and then there'll be a rollover effect into the greater Washington area. You hit Spokane, you go down to Portland, you go to Boise, etc.
So give them the full service for $500, basically, like whatever the retirement questions are.
Yeah, something like that. I think that could be. I don't know the regulation on it. That's the only thing. Like, you probably need to be a certified financial advisor. You sound really fucking smart, though. I've seen people test for this in like 2 weeks just by cramming. So that could be a way to do it. It's like literally just a test you have to do. That's all it takes.
Financial advisor in a weekend.
Straight up. Yeah.
There we go. That's the
A
course.
franchise.
Awesome. Or I could partner with someone, right? Because I know some
Yeah.
financial advisors.
Yep. You could run it and then they sign off on it. I mean, that
Fuck
could be
yeah.
the other side of this is the done for you service. So you're the back end of these companies. You go scrape every financial advisor in the US and then you're like, yo, we will do financial plans for you for $199 a piece. They already have the inbound. They're charging $2K. They pay you $200 and they get a report back that's standardized that they then pass off to their client. I mean, that's the B2B.
Way
version of
easier to
this.
do that, by the
It's
way.
probably way easier
Yeah.
to do that. And honestly, that's a really fucking good company. So careful,
Hold
Greg,
on, hold
might
up.
steal it.
Can we back up 10 seconds? What was that, Greg?
No, I just said that I would like if I were you, it's way more difficult to do to build Retire Ease and build the brand and build, there's so many unknowns with actually just working direct with financial advisors and being like, hey, I'm going to make your job a lot easier. You're already producing these reports. I'm going to do it at 4% of the cost, and I'm going to charge you, like, you're going to save money by doing this, and I'm going to be your AI partner to create beautiful looking AI assisted financial reports, and your clients are going to love it and they're going to stay longer, and you just charge for it. That to me is way easier.
Okay, I'm going to go basically fuck off the rest of my workday and workshop that as well.
There's 240,000 to 700 or 370,000 financial advisors in the U.S. Yo, DM me. I'll get you all their emails if you want. Just hit me up. I'd be happy to do this.
LinkedIn or IG?
LinkedIn probably. IG
Okay.
is a cesspool for me. So
Okay.
All his ex-girlfriends are just, they're all there.
Hey,
so
you don't have
it's
to. You
pretty-
can't air me out like that, man. All right.
Cool.
All right.
Awesome. Thank you.
But yeah,
Thanks, you
there's
guys.
106. There's 180,000 emails. I'll get you 50,000 of them. Actually, there's less. It's closer to right on 50. But yeah, hit me up. I'd love to help you on this. So
Awesome. Thanks,
All right.
Cody. Thanks,
Take
Greg.
care.
Thanks,
Take
Henry.
care, man.
Bye.
Dude, imagine you're that guy and you come on here and Cody's like, I'll give you, I got you. We workshop the idea and then we're like, by the way, we'll give you 50,000 emails by the end of the day.
I don't know what it'll do with
Well,
it.
money
You
back
gotta-
guarantee.
You gotta fucking spin up cold, but he seemed legit. I like him, so it's
Yeah,
more
he's
just,
cool.
I want to do shit like that. So
He's cool. That is crazy. All right. That's it, man. That's it. Thanks for coming on. I
Sick.
appreciate it.
dude, I love this. It's fun as fuck.
I'm
like-
coming on tomorrow, I think.
Cool.
Um,
We're babysitting watching my friend's dog, so we're kind of trapped in this weekend. So
Oh, cool.
if you're on, text me when you go on. I'll maybe do a longer set. So
Yeah, I'll
I've
text
only
you.
been doing these 30 to 40 minute sets. I want to pump these numbers up.
All right, cool. So we'll do something tomorrow, and this has been fun. It's been real.
Thanks, y'all.
Later.
Good hanging.